Ever tried to access your home computer while traveling, only to realize it's offline, your IP address has changed, or your router simply won't cooperate? In this video, I'm going to show you how to access your home PC from anywhere securely. We will tackle all the real-world problems that make remote access tricky. Your dynamic public IP address keeps changing, a PC that is sleeping or powered off when you need it most, and how to do it without exposing your system to hackers scanning the internet 24/7. I will walk you through practical setups from remote desktop and VPN tunnels to Wake-on-LAN over the internet. So, if you want reliable access to your home computer anytime, anywhere, while keeping your data safe, stay tuned, because we are diving in right now. The first challenge we must handle is the dynamic public IP address. Most home internet connections use what's called a dynamic public IP address. That means your address on the internet changes regularly. One day, your router's IP might be 41.1.0.18.2.02, and a few days later, it's completely different. So, if you try to access your home PC remotely, you will often find that the IP you saved no longer works. The solution? Dynamic DNS, or DDNS for short. DDNS services act as a bridge between a domain name and your ever-changing IP address. Instead of remembering your IP, you connect to an easy name like myhomepc.ddns.net, and the DDNS service automatically keeps it updated whenever your public IP changes. Most modern routers support DDNS directly. You just sign up for a free service like NoIP, Duck DNS, or Dynu, enter your credentials in the router's DDNS settings, and it keeps your domain synced in real time. Once it's configured, you can reach your home computer anytime without worrying about what your IP is today. So here is how DDNS works. You start by signing up with a DDNS provider like NoIP and create a hostname. This hostname acts as a permanent address for your home network. Whenever your internet provider assigns a new public IP to your router, the router automatically updates your DDNS provider, ensuring your hostname always points to the correct IP address. Before we move to the next step, I want to take a moment to thank the sponsor of this video, KeysFan. If you need a genuine Windows or Office license for personal or professional use, KeysFan offers them at great prices, and activation only takes a few minutes. Let me quickly show you how it works. Head over to keysfan.com. You will find different versions of Windows and Office available. Need a Windows 11 license? You can choose between the Home and Pro versions. And the price is incredible, $29 instead of $199 on the Microsoft website. Now, you might wonder, is this legit? How can KeysFan offer such low prices? The answer is OEM. These are genuine OEM licenses, meaning the key will be permanently linked to your computer's motherboard once activated, so it can't be transferred to another machine. But at this price, it's a great deal. Buying on KeysFan is simple. Select the software you want, add it to your cart, then click View Cart. On the summary page, enter one of these codes from the video description. Zine50 for 50% off Windows licenses, Zine62 for 60% off Office licenses. Click Apply to see your discounted price. For example, here I'm getting a Windows 11 Pro key for just $14. Then click Proceed to checkout. Fill in your email and billing details and confirm your order by clicking Place Order. Finally, choose your payment method. You can pay with PayPal or credit card. Once the payment is processed, you will receive your activation key instantly by email. If you don't see it, check your spam folder. Sometimes the email gets filtered there. And if you ever face an issue during the purchase or activation process, KissFan's support team is quick and helpful. Don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks again to KissFan for supporting this video. The next challenge we need to solve is how to power on a computer that is turned off. If your PC isn't online, you can't connect to it. Simple as that. The solution is a feature called Wake-on-LAN. Wake-on-LAN allows you to remotely power on a computer or wake it from a low power state like sleep or hibernation. It works by sending a special Ethernet message known as a magic packet to your computer's network card. Even when your system is off, the network adapter keeps listening on that packet and powers on the machine when it receives it. This feature is available on most modern computers. You will just need to enable it in the BIOS first. Then you need to enable it on Windows by setting up the power management features on the network adapter. Before we dive into the configuration details, there is an important note about Wi-Fi adapters. Not all of them support Wake-on-LAN. In that case, you will need to use your Ethernet port, which means connecting a network cable. And I know what you are thinking. Do I really need to run a cable from the router in the hallway all the way to my bedroom? Don't worry, you don't have to. A simple solution is to use a small travel router configured as a Wi-Fi client. You connect it to your home Wi-Fi, then plug your PC into it with a short Ethernet cable. That's exactly the setup I'm using for this demonstration. Now I'm going to show you how to use the NowIP DDNS service to create a hostname and keep it synchronized with your router public IP address. So here I'm on the sign-in page of the NowIP service. If you don't already have an account, you can sign up for free and create a new account. As I have already an account, I'm going to log in using my credentials. So the first thing to do is to create a new zone, a new DNS zone. Here you can see that I already have a DNS zone created under the DDNS.net domain. And if you are a new user, this will be empty and you need to add a new zone. And you can see that I already have 2 records created. So I'm going to create a new record and link it to the public IP address of my Wi-Fi router. So I click on Add Record and under the host zone, type the host name. I'm going to choose my home PC as a host name, and the fully qualified name will be myhomepc.ddns.net. And the NowIP service automatically detects the current public IP address I use. So if it's the correct one, keep it and click on the Create button to create your hostname. So my hostname has been created and here is the public IP address. So I can check if the hostname resolves to the correct IP address. So I'm going to issue a ping myhomepc.ddns.net. It seems that there is a problem. Maybe the DNS servers has not refreshed yet, so I will keep that test later. I continue with the configuration. So next you need to create the DDNS keys. These are settings we need to enter in our Wi-Fi router settings to keep it synchronized with the new IP service. So first you need to add a group. So let's give a name to our group. I will name it my group. And here you select the host name you created for your home PC. Click Create. Okay, here is the settings that has been created. We need to copy that, the username and the password, as well as the DDNS key host name. All these settings will be needed when configuring our DDNS on the Wi-Fi router. So let's copy that to a notepad. Okay, done. Okay, and now the group has been created. Now we need to continue the configuration on our Wi-Fi router. So depending on your Wi-Fi model, search for the DDNS service. In my case, it is under the Services menu. Here is Dynamic DNS. And here you will create the Dynamic DNS settings. As you can see, I have already created the settings while testing for this video, so I'm just going to update them. In the lookup hostname, you type the hostname you created in the new IP service, in this case my homepc.ddns. Here you select the DDNS service provider. As you can see, there are many. Select nowip.com. And here you will enter the username, the passwords we copied previously. So let's do that. Under the IP address source, select public. And the URL to detect the IP address that is used by the router is this URL. So the router will use this URL to check the current public IP address. And when done, save the settings. Perfect. Now let's test the ping once again. And this time it works. The host name resolved correctly to the public IP address and I got a reply from my router. So it works. The next step consists of configuring the Wake-on-LAN feature in the router. If your router doesn't have this feature, don't worry. Stick with me, I will provide an alternative solution later in this video. So depending on your router model, you can find this feature under the Services menu or any other menu. And sometimes these features is not explicitly enabled or is hidden, and you need to explicitly enable it or activate it by installing the related package. So once the feature is enabled and available, click on the menu. And here you can see that I already add some MAC addresses related to my laptop. The first MAC address is tied to the Ethernet interface of my laptop, and the second one is tied to the wireless interface. I have tested the Wake-on-LAN on the wireless interface without success because it is not supported by my laptop brand. But it works fine with the Ethernet interface. So I'm going to use this one instead. So where you can find the MAC address? It's simple. You can click on the status menu to display the currently connected devices. I will choose network LAN because my laptop is directly connected to the Wi-Fi router through an Ethernet cable. And here is my home laptop. This is the IP address, and here is the MAC address I will use with the Wake-on-LAN tool. Okay, let's test this feature. I'm going to remotely open a session on my home computer. Here I'm on the local network. I will enter this IP address. Enter the password. What I'm going to do is to put the laptop into sleep mode and try to wake it up using the Wake-on-LAN feature from the Wi-Fi router. Notice that the Wake-on-LAN feature may not work when completely shutting down the laptop. In some laptop brands, it will not work. And what works for me is hibernate and sleep. So I'm going to choose sleep. So the laptop is entering the sleep mode. So let's test if the laptop is always online. As you can see, the laptop is not replying to my ping request. Now let's wake it up. I will choose the MAC address tied to the Ethernet interface of the laptop and click on Wake Device. I will bring the ping window in front to see when the laptop will be bringed online again. And here it is. I got a reply. So the Wake-on-LAN feature is working as expected. Perfect. The next step is to set up a VPN tunnel between the remote computer and the home router so that your connection stays secure. First, I need to set the VPN up on the router and configure it as a VPN server. If your router doesn't offer a VPN service, don't worry, I will show you an alternative solution later on in this video. For the VPN connection I will choose the PPTP protocol. It's easier to set up, but I have to warn you, it's not the more secure VPN protocol. I would recommend to use OpenVPN or WireGuard if your router offers that protocols. They are more secure but slightly difficult to set up. But to keep this video simple, I will use the PPTP protocol. So to set up this protocol, I'm going to give it a name for my VPN connection. I will name it Home VPN. The role will be server, so the router will be waiting for incoming VPN connection from the remote clients. Click on the Add button. Now I have to enter more details for this VPN configuration. So I will start by enable the VPN server. For the local IP address, I will choose for the VPN interface I will choose an IP that will be in the same Wi-Fi network. My Wi-Fi network is 192.168.1.0. So the IP I will choose will be .2 because .1 is already assigned to the local Wi-Fi interface. And for the remote IP that will be assigned to clients, I will choose a range between 1.10 and 1.20. Now I need to add a username and password. For the username, I will choose simple username, user. This is only for the demonstration. And you have to choose a strong password. When done, click to save the configuration. Okay, that has been done. Now we need to configure the remote computer as a client to be able to connect to the router through the VPN. To do that, I'm going to open the Windows settings. In the search bar, type VPN, click on VPN settings, then add VPN. For the VPN provider, I will keep the default Windows built-in. I give my connection a name, for example, VPN to home. Here I will enter the server name or the IP address. I will enter the fully qualified host name I created on the now IP service, which is my home PC.ddns.net. The VPN type, you have to choose your VPN type or you will keep it automatic. This way, Windows will automatically detect in the other side the VPN type and adapt the connection accordingly. Here I will enter the username and password for the VPN connection. Click Save. Okay, now let's test our VPN connection. But before, I'm going to disconnect from the local Wi-Fi network, so the test will be more realistic. Let's try the connection. Okay, the connection has been established, so let's do a ping. I will try to ping the VPN interface of the home Wi-Fi, which is this IP address. Okay, I got a reply, so it's working. Now let's ping the home PC, which has this IP address 241, and it is not replying. Maybe the PC is offline. So it's time to wake it up and bring it online. Click to wake the device. Okay, let's do a ping again. And here it is, I got a reply from my home PC. I have bring it online successfully. Now I can connect remotely to that PC. Boom! Simple as that. I'm in. To check if I'm really accessing the PC from the VPN and not from my local Wi-Fi network, let's do a test. I will type this command, trust-rt-d and the IP address of my home PC. And as you can see, to access my home PC, I first reach the VPN IP address of my Wi-Fi router. Then I reach my home PC. So the traffic is going through the VPN connection. If your remote router doesn't support Wake-on-LAN, one quick fix might be to simply prevent your computer from entering sleep or hibernate mode, basically keeping it always on. But while that sounds convenient, it comes with some drawbacks. First, it consumes more power. Your PC keeps running 24/7, even when you don't need it, which means higher electricity bills. Second, components like fans and hard drives never get a rest, which can lead to extra wear and shorter lifespan. So yes, keeping your computer awake guarantees remote access, but it is not the most efficient or secure solution. A smarter option is to use scheduled wake times in your BIOS. This way, your system stays protected and energy efficient, and still ready for use. You can also schedule a Windows task to automatically put your computer into hibernation at a specific time. For example, if you usually need remote access between 9 a.m. and 7 p.m., you can configure your BIOS to wake the computer at 9 a.m. and create a Windows task scheduler job to hibernate it at 7 p.m. This way, your PC is available only when you need it. Before we dive into the setup, there is one important prerequisite for establishing a direct VPN connection between your remote device and your home computer: port forwarding. You need to forward port 1723 on your home router to your home PC. This allows your home computer to receive incoming PPTV VPN connection requests from the remote device. To set up port forwarding, search for port forwards on your router's interface. Usually, you will find this under the Network menu, Firewalls section, Port Forwards. Here I need to create a new rule and I need to give it a name. Let's name it PPTP VPN, and here I need to specify the external port I want to forward. It's the port 1723, the port related to the PPTP protocol. And here I need to select the IP address of my home PC. And the internal port will be the same as the external port. So basically, this rule will tell the router to forward any incoming traffic on this port to this IP address on the same port. So I will click the Add button to add the rule, and here is additional settings. The protocol, I will choose only the TCP protocol. The source zone will be the WAN interface, and all the rest is okay. So I will just click Save and Apply. All right, the port forward is now ready. The next step is to configure the PPTP VPN on the home router and set it as a server. So I connect to my home computer. In the Windows search bar, I will type Control to display the control panel. Then click on Network and Internet. Click on Network and Sharing Center. Click Change Adapter Settings, and here you need to press the Alt key to display this menu and select New Incoming Connection. Okay, here you will select who will be able to connect to this computer. It will display the list of local accounts. You can select one of the local accounts, or you can add a special account only for this VPN connection. I'm going to use the admin account and click Next. How will people connect? It's through the internet. And here keep the default protocol selected. I will click Allow Access to confirm. Okay, I close this window. Go back and click on Change Adapter Settings. Refresh the view. And here is my VPN connection available. I need additional configuration. So I click on the Properties, click on the Network tab, select Protocol Internet version 4 and click Properties. And here you specify the IP ranges that will be assigned to the remote computer. I will select this IP range here and click OK. Perfect. Now that has been done, the next step is to create exception in the firewall on the home computer to allow incoming traffic on the port 1723. To do that, I'm going to open the firewall settings, select inbound rules, and create a new rule. I will select predefined and scroll down and search for routing and remote access. Click next. Okay, I keep the default selection for these VPN protocols. Then click next, allow the connection and click finish to confirm. There are 3 rules that has been created in the firewall. Perfect. The last step is to restart the computer so that all these settings take effect. While my computer is restarting, let's set up the VPN on the remote computer. I click Add VPN, give the VPN connection a name. Let's name it PC to PC VPN. The server name will be myhomepc.ddns.net. The VPN type will be point-to-point. Enter in the username and password. And click Save. Alright, now let's test our connection. First, I will disconnect from the local Wi-Fi network. Okay. And I will click on the Connect button to initiate the VPN connection. And here it is. The connection has been established. So let's do a test. It works. Now let's check if my connection goes really through the VPN by issuing a tracert command. And as you can see, my connection goes through the VPN interface. So it's working. And that's it. You now have everything you need to access your home computer from anywhere. We covered how to handle the changing public IP with Dynamic DNS and how to power on your PC remotely using Wake-on-LAN, even if it is turned off. If this video helped you set up your own remote access, don't forget to hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow. And if you want more step-by-step guides like this one, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.